vote in Bexar County. That was 338,000 voters, a 9% increase from 2020, and those are not fringe voices. Those are neighbors, veterans, business owners, families who deserve representation, not exclusion. And this is precisely why Ethics Code Section 247C exists, to prohibit the use of city position or resources for political activity. And why Section 2-49 reinforces the duty of every official to uphold the public trust and avoid even the appearance of impropriety. These are not suggestions, these are standards. And when they are violated, it's our responsibility to act. San Antonio is built on faith, family, and fairness. And when elected officials blur the line between public service and personal ambition, they erode the foundation of civic leadership. And when these actions go unchecked, it sends a dangerous message that ethics are optional and accountability is negotiable. I filed a complaint because of a higher standard. But let me be clear, even a small act of inviting one party's convention while ignoring the other has consequences. It signals bias and undermines trust and sets a precedent that must be challenged. Hey, one more paragraph. Can I share that? Thanks, sir. Let me conclude. My complaint is not about stopping business from coming to San Antonio. We need it. The city deserves it. And it's a beautiful city. We deserve fairness that means extend equal opportunities to all parties when representing our city. Thank you. Thank you.
Speaker is Frank Garza.
Good evening, Mr. Chair and board members. My name is Frank Garza, and I represent Mayor Gina Ortiz Jones in regards to the complaint filed by Mr. Sinclair on July 16, 2025. The mayor's response letter, dated September 30, 2025, really speaks for itself, but let me point out some of the main aspects of that letter. The mayor plays a legitimate role in securing major conventions in San Antonio. If you look at the information provided to you, Mayor Jones did not initiate the letter to the Democratic National Committee. In fact, on July 26, 2025, Mario Bass, President and CEO of Visit SA, sent the recommended letter to Eric Walsh for the mayor's review and approval. On June 27th, Mayor Jones let Eric Walsh know that she made edits regarding and stated, in quotes, "One more legal review. Once everyone is good, I'll sign and submit." Quotes, end quotes. Later on June 27th, Eric Walsh responded to the mayor with the following message. Quote, "Andy reviewed," as Andy Segovia, the city attorney. "Letter's good to go." So not only did the mayor consult with the city attorney, she obtained his approval to the letter to try to obtain the Democratic National Convention to come to San Antonio. The mayor's final argument is Mr. Sinclair himself. He publicly stated in an article dated June 23rd, 25, that "I will withdraw my entire thing. My advice to her is to do both." So it's not that she wrote the letter on city stationery. It's he disagreed as to who she wrote it to. It is a violation of the Ethics Code to write a letter to the Democratic National Committee. Why would it not be a violation to write it to the Republican National Committee? So it is the conduct that is in violation. So again, as Mayor points out, this was a politically motivated complaint. And not only does it lack merit, it is a frivolous complaint under Section 2-83F of your Ethics Code. I ask the Ethics Review Board to take the necessary steps to determine this as a frivolous complaint and impose sanctions as allowed by 2-83G of the Ethics Code. This complaint was filed to harass the mayor. I want to thank you and ask that you again dismiss the complaint against Mayor Jones and make a determination that this is a frivolous complaint. If you have any questions, I'll make myself available to respond.
Thank you. We'll now move forward with our agenda, discussion and possible action regarding the ethics complaint submitted by Mr. Sinclair against Mayor Gina Ortiz Jones, including the position application. I would now like to recognize Ms. Abulosa, our outside appointed counsel, to present an overview of the complaint.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'll provide a brief presentation on the complaint, the response, the applicable law, and the evidence presented. So on July 16, 2025, the formal ethics complaint was filed against San Antonio Mayor Gina Ortiz Jones by Kyle Sinclair, alleging violations of the city's ethics code. The complaint centers on the mayor's alleged use of official city resources to pursue hosting the 2028 Democratic National Convention. And this is a screenshot of the alleged violation. The complainant stated, on July 1st, 2025, Mayor nonpartisan physician Gina Ortiz Jones used her position, title, city seal to officially request the Democratic National Convention to be held in San Antonio. The city's ethics code, specifically section 247C and 249, restricts city officials from using their official position or city resources like the city seal and letterhead for private or political purposes. Since the Democratic National Convention is a partisan political event, using official resources to request posting is in direct violation. The codes, the sections of the ethics code that the complainant cited were section 247C and section 249 of the ethics code. And the complainant attached documentation. First was the formal letter by the mayor, and the second was a KSAT news article right here titled Mayor Gina Ortiz Jones proposes San Antonio as host for 2028 Democratic National Convention. And this is the letter that the complainant had attached to the complaint. On September 30th, 2025, the mayor submitted a response. She requested that the Ethics Review Board dismiss the ethics complaint against her for 3 reasons. First was that she said that the mayor plays a legitimate role in securing mayor conventions of that scope, given the significant economic opportunities that they present for the community. Second, she contended that she solicited and received legal advice from City Attorney Andy Segovia, confirming her actions and communications were in accordance with all legal and ethical standards. And third, she noted that the complainant recently publicly expressed his willingness to file this complaint if she agreed to also express interest in hosting the Republican National Convention, despite that convention already having been awarded to Houston for 2028. She said that the complainant's willingness to drop his ethics complaint upon her agreement to engage in the same conduct toward the Republican National Convention demonstrates that the complaint is politically motivated and lacks merit. She attached the following to her response. It was a September 23rd, 2025 KSAT News article titled Local GOP Official Says Will Pull Mayor Jones's Ethics Complaint if She Also Makes RNC Offer for 2032. The initial Ethics Review Board review was issued on August 1st, 2025, and it stated that even if all of the facts stated in the complaint were taken as true, the allegations would not constitute a violation of Section 247C because they do not involve the representation of private interests before the city, and so therefore that portion of the complaint was returned pursuant to Section 283D3 of the code, and the city clerk forwarded the remaining allegations of the complaint regarding the alleged violations of Section 249 to the ERB and to the respondent. So now I'll discuss briefly the applicable code and law relevant to this complaint. First is Section 249 of the Ethics Code, titled Public Property and Resources. It states that a city official or employee shall not use, request, or permit the use of city facilities, personnel, equipment, or supplies or time while on city duty for private purposes, including political purposes, except 1, pursuant to duly adopted city policies, or 2, to the extent and according to the terms that those resources are lawfully available to the public. And the The second is Chapter 255.003 of the Texas Election Code, titled Unlawful Use of Public Funds for Political Advertising. It states that an officer or employee of a political subdivision may not knowingly spend or authorize the spending of public funds for political advertising, and then it provides exceptions as to when that is appropriate. And this is a timeline of the events that you all have briefly seen in this PowerPoint and heard through the public comments, but it just provides a timeline of when the letter was sent to the mayor and when the subsequent actions were taken. So next I'll briefly go through additional evidence. So on October 2nd, 2025, the city attorney submitted this letter. It says, "Dear Chair Lang and Ethics Review Board members, I write to confirm the review and approval undertaken by my office of the form Visit San Antonio letter used by Mayor Jones on July 1st, 2025. Based on my own review of the content of the form Visit San Antonio letter, I concluded it served neither private nor political purposes and that it is consistent with the role of the mayor to bring high-profile events to the city. Should you have any questions, the first city attorney will be in attendance on October 6th, as I will be out of town on a previously scheduled family matter, and the city attorney is going to sign the letter." And next this is the Visit San Antonio that was referenced throughout the presentation. This is some information about that nonprofit that we pulled from their website and their different materials. It says, "Visit San Antonio is seeking passionate, as a 501c6 organization, Visit San Antonio serves as the destination marketing organization for San Antonio and the surrounding areas, driving economic impact through tourism, conventions, and hospitality initiatives." And this is a joint letter that discusses throughout fiscal year 2024, they say our collective efforts resulted in remarkable achievements that have significantly strengthened San Antonio's reputation as a premier destination for meetings and conventions. These accomplishments, which include a record-breaking economic impact of $21.5 billion. It talks about how their focus is on attracting new business and attracting more high-profile events to increase the economic impact on the city and state. And then finally, this is more about the objective of Visit San Antonio. It says, "By 2030, we aim to establish San Antonio as a premier global destination for tourism and conventions, showcasing the real and true American experiences. Through authentic storytelling, we will highlight the richness of our culture, history, and diverse people." And then it discusses priorities such as meetings and conventions. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. I will now open the discussion to panel members for any statements or questions. Do we have
the aspect of this that's this has to be authorized. 249 makes mention of something that's authorized. Who would authorize the mayor to do something like this? The council? Or is it incumbent on her? Is it her job time? It says authorized.
As part of section 249, so resources.
249, public property and resources.
So that would be if an item is a public resource used for a personal matter, it would have to be authorized. I think in this case, based on the response, the mayor's response is indicating that it was not a personal matter, it was city business.
Okay.
So that would not necessarily require an authorization under that explanation.
And I'm going to ask the question, I already know the answer, but I'm going to ask it so everybody else knows. Does the council have to approve something like this in order to attract a convention or any kind of business like this?
Not to my knowledge, that's typically a visit SA. Just as a city representative, we're looking at ways. Visit SA is a 501c6, I think it was, but they are part of the city of San Antonio. also. So that would be part of the economic development, attracting business to the city, kind of with a similar Final Four conventions, type sports events and stuff.
Final Four is not politically charged with that like this would be, so Cam was nice enough to give me that answer, but I figured people would want to know if the mayor needed to have council approval and not. So. Has the mayor had ethics training?
I believe all new council members have had general ethics training. This was a comment that came up with our last item. It is something the board has expressed interest in based on that last one, on how we can make that more concrete and accountable. So that's something we're going to look at going forward, what the board expectation is of how we would track that. But generally speaking, all incoming council members should have had general ethics training.
So, just to be clear, has the mayor had ethics training?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I'm going to say also, I'm sure somebody else might be thinking this too, the quid pro quo aspect of Mr. Sinclair's request to take down this complaint in exchange for applying for the Republican National Convention troubles me a little bit. I didn't think that quid pro quo in any fashion or anything, especially in a matter like this, would be proper. So, just for my own purposes, I'm just saying that. So.
And Mr. Reed, just not to interrupt, but I would say, once an ethics complaint is submitted, it will not be taken back by the complainant. It now belongs to the board, and the board, even if that action took place, the board would still have the opportunity and option to hear.
Curious, where does the city ethics engineer get their funding from?
What is the city board's visit us saying their funding? Portion of that, I believe, is through.
So they do receive some funding through the city's school budget, they also have other revenue sources, and if you'd like to get that information, you can get it from it. It's also probably available on our website.
And who's responsible for setting that budget?
The city's budget,
The portion that flows to Business Antonio.
city manager's office, city staff.
Well, it would be through the budget process, the city manager would make a proposal on the budget. It would have to be approved by all city council.
Any other questions? The panel will now recess into executive session to deliberate. The time is approximately 6:35 p.m. Monday, October 26th, at the board. Panel of City of San Antonio will recess into executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.071, and consult with the attorney.
Vice chair. I have the same question, actually.
So I resigned, or second.
Why did you resign? October 2nd, you said?
I got there in the elevator
Okay.
right now.
It's like you resigned the second. In which district?
No.
Yeah.
20 Texas title.
Got it.
Has somebody
It'll come out tomorrow, press release, that's why.
Has somebody replaced you as vice chair yet?
Got replaced.
All right, thanks, sir.
Yeah.
Just fine.
Sign that.
Sit down, put the.
Everyone, thank you for your patience. The time is now 7:08 p.m. on Monday, October 6, 2025. The Ethics Review Board panel of the City of San Antonio will now reconvene in open session. No official action was taken in executive session. I will now entertain a motion for agenda item 1.
Yes, sir. I note that there is not a preponderance of evidence that supports a finding that Mayor Jones violated Section 2-49 of the City of San Antonio Ethics Code by using official city resources, including city seal and letterhead, in connection with communication related to a partisan political conviction.
Is there a second?
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The vote was, the motion, the vote was all, I'm sorry. All in favor, I'm sorry guys, I'm frozen up here. So the motion passes. This concludes agenda item 1. A written opinion with final disposition of the matter will be issued no later than October 14th. Copies will be provided to the complainant and respondent. And before we adjourn, kind of want to get on my soapboxes sometimes that I do. Guys, please help me out if I miss anything. But we don't want the Ethics Review Board to become a gotcha board, a political, either way. That's not what it's for. We're here to uphold ethics and the standards for the City of San Antonio, and that's important to us. We do see and understand there's some holes in the code a little bit as far as the requirements for education, and we were going to work to kind of sew that up. But I did want to say that and kind of open it up to the rest of the panel to speak or get anything else off their chest when it comes to these type of things. Because I know we've dealt with things similar to this. So I just kind of wanted to open up. Does anybody else have any statements or comments just to kind of put out there in the ether for everyone to hear? None heard. There being no other business before the panel this evening, this concludes our meeting and we are adjourned.
Would you be open to talking to us about this is going to shake his hand. That's okay.
Are you going further? Do I need to hide that cord?
No,
Are you good? All right.
You'll just look at me the entire time.
Say it again?
You'll just look at
Yeah,
me the entire
okay.
time. Well, you just heard the vote. What are your fresh thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, my whole point is bringing awareness to the issue. I'm not mad at the board. I think, they have every right to do what they think. I think there's some issues that need to be cleared up with the mayor, with the city, and bringing attention. That's my whole thing, is just to bring attention to the city and to the mayor. She needs to be better. She should have been better. But the ethic board viewed that both those codes were not approved, and I get it. I understand that. I'm not mad. My job was to bring attention to and awareness to what she should have done.
And you addressed the board during public comment. Would you be able to kind of reiterate what you said?
Yeah, I mean, that was the whole gist of my thing, is that this was about ethics and standards. And even as small as this was not about stopping the Democratic National Convention. My whole thing is she should have done it for both. She's a mayor for both. And that 44% of the vote here in San Antonio voted for President Trump and voted Republican. And she won the mayor right after that. And she did it within 2 weeks. As a nonpartisan candidate, within 2 weeks of winning her election, went after a highly partisan organization. She should have done both. That's what she should have done. That's what any leader should do to bring business here.
You heard kind of representatives for the mayor say that this was a harassment of the mayor. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I think that's ridiculous and unfounded. Obviously, they sound nothing of it. There's no harassment of anything. What it is calling the mayor out for her actions, and I will continue to do that. She's a public servant, and she's also my mayor. So, yeah, I will continue to do that. I've not harassed her. There's been no harassment of her. By calling her out for some actions, I'll do that all day long.
One of the board members kind of mentioned concerns about what he calls a quid pro quo in your request. What do you think about that?
Well, first off, there's no quid pro quo. It's that she should have done it, right? There's no drop in the ethics. I wouldn't have filed the ethics complaint if she had done both. Again, she's the mayor for both. I want the business here. Yes, the Republican convention went to Houston in 2028, but there's 2032. She should have put in for 2028 for the Democrat in 2032. You're the mayor for both parties. Be the leader that I want her to be. Because guess what? When she's successful, the city's successful, that means I live in a better community.
Have you had any direct conversation with the mayor?
Absolutely not. She's actually done the opposite and blocked me from social media. So yeah, no, anybody harassing, that's her. So I mean, I can't even, there's been no attention, nobody reaching out from the city at all.
And if there's anything that you would want to say knowing that she sees this story, what would that be?
I think be the mayor for both. That's my consistent message, right? I would love to bridge the gap and be able to talk and communicate with her. Whether she does that or not, that's on her. That's up to her and her leadership and her team. I really doubt that she will, being that she ran as a partisan candidate and has now acted as a partisan mayor. I seriously doubt she will.
One thing, I did overhear you, now former vice chair. Could you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, so officially October 1st, I resigned my vice chair position with the Republican Party and announced my candidacy for U.S. Congress, Texas 21st District.
And is there anything we should look out for in the future?
No, I mean, to win it, yeah, I mean, absolutely win it. I think bringing values to this country that we need, being unapologetic America First type of agenda. I'm a prior vet, I'm a healthcare executive and love country and our community, and I want the best for this country.
All right, anything else?
That's it.
All right,
Thank you so much.
It was great to meet you.
Thank you, you too.
Take my call.
No, you're fine. Oh. Do you have a card or contact?
I can give you my number.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
Which is a good thing.
I put a lot of stuff over to us.
Yeah, no problem. I heard you say you'd have a press release, but I think
Yeah, it'll be coming out. I don't know if I